some more. Where are we?
I am Marwan Cameron, and this is the Conduit. How's everyone doing? It is March 18, 2021. It is Thursday. Happy Thursday. Kind of a cloudy day here on Thursday in Kitsap County. As you can see, it's a little bit different today as I already have my guest already in the queue. And so we're going to jump right into our interview. It's one I've been looking forward to for a while. And today we're talking to Miss Anita, as I call her, but actually Mrs. Anita Schon. So how are you doing, Miss Anita? All right. So, of course, as things start, as soon as we start, our Zoom goes down. So as soon as our Zoom reconnects, we'll go ahead and get going. But Miss Anita is actually sitting in G2's office right now for this interview. It took us a little while to get everything going, per usual, and she was able to come in. Miss Anita, and I'll say this again when she's back on, was my oldest college student at Olympic College. And so she is so full of life, so vibrant, and I tell you, I wish I had half the energy that she has. She's just amazing in that regard. So just truly impressive. And, we oftentimes I would grade papers in the middle of the night because I was working such long hours teaching at the college. And while I was doing that, she would still be up and would send me messages and tell me to go to bed. It's like, Mrs. Anita, I know I need to go to bed, but what are you doing up? So it's just something else. Miss Anita, are you there? Miss Anita? Make sure we got her. All right, let's see what's going on with her camera. All right, we don't know what is going on with Zoom right now. So let me get her back. So old Zoom apparently is just acting up today. But we're going to work this thing out. Like I said, this is an interview I've definitely been looking forward to. So we're going to make sure that this thing happens. All right. Got to be another way to skin this cat here. Why do people say skinning a cat anyway? It always seemed kind of strange to me. There she is. All right, Miss Anita. Miss Anita, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. For some reason, Zoom is kind of kicking us on and off. So what we're going to do is we're going to get started. But if we get kicked off, I'm going to go ahead and join the Zoom from my cell phone, too, so that we've got a secondary backup here. Because I don't want to lose our opportunity to have a conversation.
Okay.
So I was just telling folks that, to kind of talk about your bio a little bit. Miss Anita is 83 years young, and I do mean years young, as she proves over and over again.
Not until the 27th.
The 27th of this month?
Yes.
Of March? All right. Well, happy early birthday. So 82 years, 320 something days, right? I mean, she is right there. But Miss Anita has far more energy than I've ever been able to put out, and I've often said, if I can have a third or a half of your energy, Miss Anita, the things that I could accomplish would be truly amazing. You really, you do a lot. I was telling folks that you were the oldest college student that I had in my class, and I would be grading papers in the middle of the night, and you would come on Facebook and tell me to go to bed. Do you remember that? It's like, what are you still doing up? And it's like, oh, I'm grading papers. I'm trying to go to bed. I'm, responding to students online, things like that. And I'm like, well, what are you doing up, Miss Anita? And you're cooking or doing something else. But normally you're like cooking, making meals, right?
Yes.
So it's just something else. But I've always appreciated how, you would look out for me. Funny story too. Miss Anita's in my class, and she's very, very polite and proper. And so, most of the students will call you Mr. Cameron, right, as a sign of respect for the instructor. And so she comes up to me one day and she says, Mr. Cameron, I wanted to ask you something. I have sons your age. Can I call you Marwan? And I was like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I think he even asked me what year I was born. I told you what year I was born. It's like, yeah, I have sons your age. Can I call you Marwan? It's like, yes, ma'am, you can. So definitely one of my favorite students. And I definitely appreciate you coming on to the podcast and sharing a little bit about yourself today. Super exciting. I think it's, good, again, to hear from people from different walks of life, of course, and also to share your zest and your zeal for life, your energy. You don't stop moving. You're constantly doing things and having energy to check on people and things like that. So I think you're an amazing person, and I wanted to share you with everyone because I think they should know people like you. So
that's exaggeration.
No, that's not hyperbole at all. Not in the slightest. I mean that with all sincerity, for sure. So you are again almost 83 years young. You have 3 children, and how many grandchildren?
18.
18 grandchildren, and then you also have great grands. How many great grands do you have?
7.
7 great grands. Wow. And where are they?
Out of the 18.
Out of the 18. Okay, so huge family, and they're kind of spread out throughout the country and everywhere else.
Yes.
So tell me a little about what we're going to get into your passion or the love of your life at some point. But tell me a little bit about Miss Anita. You're born in the Philippines. Tell us a little bit about your childhood and your experience. What brings you to be sitting in G2 today in 2021? How did you get here?
Well, I came here in 1969. I married a sailor, of course. And I brought my 2 children here with me.
Mm-hmm.
I was very active and worked in San Francisco for 4 years, and then moved in Bremerton. I never went with my husband's duty station anyway. So I was able to work for 25 years and retired.
Oh wow! And you were at was that Cascade Natural Gas?
Cascade Natural Gas.
25 years. Wow, that's a long time.
And then I got bored, and I started to work at Weisfield Jewelers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I never had any sales experience.
So you started selling jewelry. So what did you do there? Were you selling jewelry? Was that your job?
Yes.
So how did you sell to customers?
I told young people not to buy the most expensive. They can all always upgrade. And my manager didn't like that.
How long were you at Wisefields?
On and off about 7 years.
Oh, really? So they let you keep coming back even though you were telling people not to buy the most expensive jewelry?
You know, when the people get engaged, they buy diamonds, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's always a way you can.
All right. So we are interviewing Miss Anita today. And Zoom is going to keep going in and out. So please bear with us. Facebook and YouTube is doing great today. So that's awesome. It's just YouTube that's acting a fool. So we just ride the wave. It is reconnecting now. But as you can see, Miss Anita is fascinating. She has just a tremendous lived experience. And, you know, with all folks, you know, I'm sure she's gone through her shares of, you know, trials and tribulations and trauma, you know, being, you know, 83 years old. I'm sure she's lost loved ones along the way. But just in this short time that you've been exposed to her, you can just see how full of life she is. So, you know, again, when I say that she is, you know, really awesome, it wasn't hyperbole, and she can't hear me right now, but yeah, it's not hyperbole. It is how I feel about her. She really is an amazing woman, and you know, again, humble too, and that seems to be, you know, a theme when interviewing folks that, you know, have just kind of give of themselves and just of good spirit. All of them have been very humble people. So that's kind of a constant that I've seen through folks that I've interviewed that kind of share that trait and that commonality. So just really awesome. As soon as this reconnects, we'll talk about some of her other experiences. As she was saying, she came here in 1960, which was you know, before I was born, of course, and she's lived 2 lifetimes actually, in the time that I've been around almost, and just has done so much, and she is the true definition of lifelong learner. You know, being in my class, maybe 3 years ago she was in my class. And so I don't even know if I would consider taking college courses at that point in time. Like, I'm done taking college courses now. I have no desire to go and work on a PhD, even though folks are encouraging me to do so. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm done with school. But she was just telling me when we were getting set up that she's, you know, I need to get back into the college. Like, yes, ma'am. So just really full of energy. Will learn different things and take things on. So, you know, just really impressive. And the thing about her is, and people like her, is she kind of brings a sense of community and home where she is. When they talk about, you know, my dad would tell me, you know, 2 things. One is a Baptist minister. I would say church isn't really about the building, right? The physical structure. That's not the church, right? The church is the people. And then, you know, my dad was also that type of person too, where, you know, he brought a sense of community with him. So if you were in his space, then you were in a different. It felt different, right? You were a part of something different being there. And so classes with Miss Anita felt very different, right? She would take on kind of a motherly role of the other students in the class. And again, I teach a lot of non-traditional students, you know, folks that are near my age, older than me, you know, younger than myself. And that was kind of her role. And so there was you know, kind of just a shift of energy in those particular classes. And I think that people would probably say, you know, I can speak for myself, that students probably were more collaborative in those classes because she was so open and fearless in that way and genuinely cared about other people. And so I think that's That's really important. And again, when I talk about the power to, be able to change, the environment in the community around you, that really is the power of one person, not connected to any organization, not even necessarily purposefully trying to be a certain way and to make change, but yet and still, achieving that outcome. So that's really powerful. And so, again, I think those are those things that I'd like to pass on to you of ways that you can feel empowered and change the community around you, for the betterment of you, your children, your friends, and the community at large. And that you do possess that power if you so desire to take advantage and use it. So that's really it. Let's see. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and join here. Miss Anita, can you hear me? Miss Anita, can you hear me? Miss Anita? Miss Anita, are you able to hear me?
Are you back?
I am back. But now I'm back on my phone.
Okay.
So this connection may be more stable.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to keep going with our interview, and I'm just trying to figure out the best way to get you on the camera, because I really want you on camera. I think that's important. So I'll just figure that out. Yeah, there's something going on with Zoom on my computer, which is causing this issue. But I need you to be seen.
You want to see the old lady?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Required.
I think I can have Amanda set up this room if you want.
Yeah, she could set it up.
Yeah.
Well, this isn't you. This really is this is on me on this side here. So, like I said, I don't know why it's doing that right now, but it's being crazy for some reason. So anyway, What I was telling folks about was, just your energy in the class and how you kind of changed the classroom environment, right? You kind of had a very motherly kind of atmosphere around you, and classes with you in it felt different than classes that I taught when you weren't present in those classes, right? And so people would gravitate towards you, and also feel like people were more collaborative and more willing to work together and kind of come out of their shell in classes that you were in. I don't know if you could say that you saw that only because you're always where you're at, right?
I went to class with like 16 years old and some veterans. I was the oldest, of course.
Right. So tell me, you were talking about, oops, you can't hear me. Sorry about that. You were talking about, you coming here with your husband, and while you came to the States, you retired from Cascade Natural Gas after 25 years, and then you started working for Wisefields, and you were telling folks not to buy the most expensive jewelry, and you were working there off and on, correct?
Correct, because I went back and forth to the country.
Got you.
I did my charity work over there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why I got my Navy ship title, remember?
Oh, okay, yeah. So, and you also would you bring in food for the classes?
Yes, I
and feed
did.
the students.
Maybe that's why I got 4.0.
Oh, is that how you got your grades? So most most students would bring the teacher an apple. You brought baklava and other treats.
I brought bento boxes.
That's awesome. No, that's really cool. Um, so you retired after 25, and then tell us about what you were doing as far as leadership in the community in the Filipino community when you were active. I think that's also super important.
Yeah, I joined the community organizations in mid 80s, and then I was president for four times, and I was very active. And of course, as I grew older, after I retired, I quit the organization and I formed a nonprofit internationally.
Oh,
That's
really?
why I keep going back to the Philippines.
Oh, wow. Okay, and you were going back to the
Oh,
Philippines like what every year for a while? Is that true?
well, every other year.
Every other year. Okay. And the last time you've
Like
been?
6 months at a time.
Oh, 6 months at a time.
And yeah, that
When
was after I retired.
okay.
So I went to the poorest section and taught how to cook and everything. That's when the Prince of Sydney noticed me in the internet.
The Prince of
So
Sydney.
he recommended me to be
Oh,
a
wow.
lady to the Sultan of Sulu and Sabah.
Okay, that's pretty impressive. I'll have to try to put that on my bucket list and try to achieve being recognized by a prince of somewhere. That's pretty cool. So how when's the last time you've been to PI?
uh, 4 years ago.
4 years ago. So a lot of family there?
No,
No?
eh, my family is here.
Are you a celebrity when you go home since you got the prince and
I, I dined with senators, some politicians, but I also dined with the poorest people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So in your nonprofit that you were doing internationally, you were going back, you were teaching people to cook. What are some of the other things that you were doing?
Well, people there are so poor that they only buy like tap ramen, put
Hmm.
a lot of water, and they feed the whole family, right? What I did is for $10, I can cook three kinds of meals and feed 30 people.
Really?
Yeah. So I got donations from my friends.
That's pretty awesome. And so how long did you do that for?
Well, I quit to be the president like when did I quit? 5 years ago.
So let me get this straight. You were doing this up until you were 78 years old?
75.
I mean, like I said, that's really impressive. Again, if I can have half of that energy, like I said, that's not hyperbole, right? That's a lot of work. That's a lot of travel. That's a lot of passion. I just think that that's just tremendously awesome.
I went to people's houses like I've never met them before,
Mm-hmm. Well, let's
and
talk about.
they
Oh, go ahead.
go and they're on the red carpet for me. I said, I can sleep anywhere. Don't worry about me. I can sleep on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
But they still put put the red carpet for me.
They still put out the red carpet.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the love of your life.
love of my life.
That Mr.
You
Mr.
really
Johnny
want to hear
Mathis.
that, huh?
So
I was a widow at 24.
you were a widow at 24? Wow.
Yeah, man. And so I was a widow early. Not good.
And I'm definitely sorry to hear that. Now, your husband then introduced you to Johnny Mathis. Is that true?
He took me to the concert.
So tell us about that. How did this infatuation with Johnny Mathis come to be?
Everybody's infatuated with him. He's so good looking. And in college, you know who my subject is? Public speaking, fashion, everything. Painting is Johnny Mathis.
Is Johnny Mathis? So
I wrote 3 books for him.
oh, you wrote 3 books?
Yes.
Oh, so you're an author too.
Yeah, and I have a cookbook too.
Oh, you have a cookbook also? Okay. All right.
Yeah, you need to buy it, Marwan.
Well, is it on Amazon or do I just buy it from you?
Amazon.
It's on Amazon? Okay, tell me what's the name of your book?
The flavors of the Philippines.
Flavor. Okay, I'm typing that in the chat right now. Flavors of the
Philippines.
Philippines by Anita Schon. Okay, so you can buy her cookbook on Amazon, and apparently I am buying her cookbook today
You are.
because Miss Anita told me to. Well, you told I gotta listen to you. I listened to my elders. You told me to buy the book, so that's it.
And for Johnny Mathis fans, I have books to sell too.
Oh, do you really? Are those on Amazon also?
No.
Okay. So if someone is interested in purchasing one of your books, how would they get in contact with you?
I go to my email,
Go to your email? Okay, what is that?
Anita says at Gmail.
At Gmail. Okay, I'm typing that in the chat now. So if you would like to purchase, Miss Anita's cookbook or any of her other books or the Johnny Mathis books, you can send her an email and she will get that to you. And if you want her cookbook, it is at Amazon.com and you can get it there. And as you know, Miss Anita just told me that I need to go and buy it. So I will be purchasing that today. And for fun, what we might do is maybe me and Layla will make that one of our Layla and Daddy podcasts and we'll cook a recipe out of there.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty fun. Is your baklava recipe in there?
No, because baklava is not Filipino.
Ah, got you. Okay. What kind of desserts are in there?
Leche plan?
Okay. That sounds good. Oh, is your lumpia and your pancit in there?
Of course.
Ah, okay. For those of you that don't know, one of our meals that we did for Food Insecure, it was like maybe 2.5 years ago now, when we were still operating out of my house. Miss Anita came and showed us how to make lumpia, and so we had to hand roll it. And man, I tell you, it's a lot of work, and I kept tearing the wrapper, but man, that lumpia was so good. You can't make enough of it, because you can eat it so fast. But when you have to hand make it, I tell you, you definitely savor each piece of lumpia, because you know what it took to make that lumpia. So, but it was a lot of fun. So I was glad that I figured out that you taught me how to make it. And I don't think I've tried since, just because it's so much work.
Well, I was gonna make you a vegetable lumpia last night, but I got so busy.
Oh, see, you got so busy.
I will bring you vegetable lumpia.
Yes, ma'am. I would definitely appreciate that. But it does take quite a bit of effort, and I don't like to cook, so. There could be that part in it too. I can cook, I just don't like it. It just seems like it just takes so long to make
Well,
something.
I'll bring it to you cook anyway.
Yeah, for me to cook.
It's already cooked.
It's already cooked. All I have to do is just heat it up and eat it.
No, I'll bring it to you as soon as I fry them.
Oh, so they'll still be hot.
Yes.
See, I'm spoiled. I appreciate that very much. So
Okay.
you've got a cookbook. You've got 3 books on Johnny Mathis. You've got a blog that I'm going to share with everyone. It's actually up on the screen right now, which is called Flavors of Anita's Kitchen. So I'm just going to kind of talk about that a little bit. And it's got here, God's Own Country is how it starts. And it looks like these are maybe different people that are posting on here.
Yes.
My name is Wendy Davis, and I live in Yorkshire, England. My friend Francis and I love to travel and see different parts of the U.S. So these are people that are typing on your blog. Is this true?
Those are Johnny Mathis fans that I met.
Oh, got you. Okay. So you got people world around.
Yes.
All right. So I'm just kind of scrolling down, and it says Design Class Fantasy.
Yeah.
And this is, I think I'm awake now. This was from July 7th. And this looks like, was this, what is this that I'm looking at?
Well, I asked Johnny Mathis to marry with him when he was 4 years old.
Oh, really? To his face?
And he told me he was so young. And then I found a bottle on the seashore with his letter after 20 years.
Oh,
No,
really?
after 50 years. And it says, I'm glad you want to marry me, but we are too young. Maybe when we see each other again. So.
Well, how many times have you met Johnny Mathis?
I saw him again. I saw him again in California. No, I saw him again after 16 years in Hong Kong. He still said, we're still too young. So after 50 years, I saw this bottle. I went to his concert, but then there was a line of ladies who wanted to marry him.
Oh, really?
So then I woke up. That's my dream.
So, okay,
and
so
I got 4.0 in that project.
Okay, all right. So tell me, where you saw Johnny Mathis in Hong Kong, you saw Johnny Mathis in the Philippines. Where are some other places that you saw him in concert?
California,
Spokane,
Portland,
Seattle.
Yes.
So you are definitely a Johnny Mathis fan. I'm showing a picture of you with Johnny Mathis here with your looks like you're wearing a yellow shawl and a yellow flower bracelet.
Yes.
Do you remember when that was?
That was in Agua Caliente in California.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, you're 80 years old, and Johnny Mathis is 82. Is he still performing?
Yes.
Oh, really?
I was supposed to go to San Diego in July, but it was canceled.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. That's pretty impressive.
There is a concert on November 13th.
And where's that one at?
California.
In California? Okay, so if things are open, you're going to try to go there and see him?
Yeah.
All right. What made you start a blog post, Miss Anita?
I always write because I have so many places to go, a story to do, so I opened this blog.
And
my blogger was 16 years old.
Oh, you've been blogging since 16 years old?
No, my blogger.
Oh, your blogger 16 years old.
I hired him to do it for me.
Okay, that's pretty awesome. That's really awesome, actually.
Uh-oh.
So how long has he been doing your How long has he been doing your blog?
Where are you?
Oh, I muted myself. How long has he been doing your blog, Miss Anita?
Oh my God, that's about 15 years.
15 years?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then you said you've got a 16-year-old that's doing your blog now. When did he start helping you out with that?
When he was 16, so he's 21 now.
Oh, he's 21. Okay. Got you. All right. Oh, that is awesome. And
That
so,
helps him. I give him his allowance, you know.
do you feed him?
I pay him.
Mm-mm.
He's in the Philippines.
Oh, he's in the Philippines. Got you. Okay.
Yes.
So this is awesome. So I'm looking, I see you've got life and your people. I'm just kind of clicking on that. And then you've got kitchen. And we're looking at this one here, touched by angels. Your kitchen, you've got your food and your cooking. I'm clicking on that link there. So please check out Miss Anita's blog post, The Flavors of Anita's Kitchen. She is connected with folks from around the world. Miss Anita, I didn't ask you this question, but I wanted to ask you this. If for the younger people that are listening, you have made so many acquaintances and friends over your lifetime. What would you say makes a good friend?
Anybody who can attach to you. I keep my friends, whether they're old or young, you know. As long as you are sincere, they'll keep you and they'll be honest.
So, what would you tell someone who is kind of shy and has a hard time, meeting people? What advice would you give them if they're trying to learn how to go out and make friends?
Well, meet somebody like me.
Absolutely. That's a true story.
And you became my friend,
Yeah.
aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
All my professors in OC are my friends now.
And so how does that happen?
Because I go to them and I talk and I have a picture with them. And I have the advantage because I'm always older than my professors.
So you make us do it. We don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's really good advice for people because it can be hard to make friends, to make acquaintances, even to find people that might be able to speak on your behalf in the future, right? You come into the class, we're strangers. You could have just sat there as a student, did the assignments, and went off and went into your next class. And maybe I remember you or maybe I don't. I have thousands of students that come through my classroom. But instead, you reach out to the instructor, you talk to people in the classroom, and one, you become unforgettable in that sense. But two, as you said before, you're genuine. And so then something can be created from that. True story?
True story.
So, yeah, because I would have not said before you came into the class, oh, this really nice old lady is going to come into the class, and after the class is over, we're going to keep in contact, and she's going to talk to me on Facebook and make sure I'm taking my blood pressure medicine and give me home remedies and bake me things from time to time and come in and see me. And I'm checking on her. I couldn't have told you that was going to happen, right? I mean, that was your doing, right?
Yes.
Just your aura and who you are as a person.
I do.
But I think that's really powerful for young people and even just everyone to hear. They're feeling like they're isolated and they're feeling kind of lonely and want to have some authentic relationships with people, that is a way to do that.
I have young friends too, young friends from India and everywhere.
Yeah, I just think it's really impressive. And you haven't been in my class since 4 years ago, 2016? That sound right? 2017, somewhere in there?
Somewhere.
Yeah, and you only took the one class from me, right?
Yeah, and I did terrible.
You didn't do terrible. So if I remember correctly, you took customer service from me, right?
Was it sales?
Was it
I
sales?
think so. I can't remember.
I thought it was customer service.
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
It was customer service, and you didn't like doing the book work.
Oh,
And do you remember what I told you?
what?
What I said was, one, that was a class that was heavy on discussion, right? Because it's about teaching. You could teach theory on customer service, but customer service is, I think, effectively taught, through examples and experience and people sharing, because that's one thing, that's something common that everyone has, right? Everyone has experienced customer service, so they can talk about it, right? We've got a common language about that, and then we can talk about the strategies and the pedagogy that go around that. And so for me, with you, there are different ways to assess learning. And you have such a lived experience, right? You were with Cascade Natural Gas for 25 years. You were working at Wisefields. And for you to be allowed to come back for 7 years, even though you're not upselling, you're actually downselling customers, they still allow you to come back because you were making an impact not only on the customers that were coming in, but you were actually meeting their needs, right? You were giving them value. Yes, you're in here for a diamond, but I'm not just going to try to sell you the most expensive diamond. I'm going to sell you something that you're going to be happy with, something that you can grow into. True?
True. Of course, I don't tell that in front of my boss.
Yeah, that's probably why I almost spit on my tea.
And they come back to me, they won't wait on anybody else but me.
Yeah. Well, and then, you got your blog post, you have your books, and something that's really natural when we talk about sales and customer service and things like that. I'm just asking you questions, but you immediately, went into, what, and you need to buy the book, right? And a lot of folks, that's a hard thing to teach people, right? Because they find it difficult, one, to kind of brag on themselves or to sell the product or service, even if they believe in it, and it's just a very natural thing for you. So the reason why I didn't think that you did bad in the class was that you had so much teachable life experience that could be used anecdotally in a classroom, that I could pass you and you can have questions and we could have conversations to match the concepts with what it is that your life experience was.
Did you buy my book yet?
Well, I can't buy it while I'm on while we're on the podcast, but it'll be purchased before the end of the day, and I will bring it to you so you can sign it for me.
It's not only a cookbook, it's also a travel lodge.
Oh, really? A travel lodge?
Yes.
Oh, tell us about that part. I think that's super cool.
Well, I invited people to write something about my country.
Hmm.
So it's an interesting book.
Well, and I'm on your blog, and I'm on the travel part, so I'm seeing the Fort Santiago tourist guide, the Yosemite experience, the 51st anniversary of the global, I don't know how to say that word, Ariolantes of class of 55. Did I say that right or wrong?
Arellano. Arellanites.
Ah, okay. A music-filled family, just like a good Samaritan. So you've got plenty of stories in here, which is really awesome. So a travel guide would be great. That's one thing I really wanted to do, Miss Anita, was start to kind of see the world a little bit. And I was going to go to Spain last year, and then everything shut down. So I was going to go in April.
Oh, that's good.
And then I tried to reschedule for October, and then they were saying the restaurants were going to be like dine out only. And it's like, I can't go to Spain for all the rich culture and food and have to sit outside, you know what I mean? Or take it back to my hotel.
Wait until the pandemic is over.
Yeah, so I'm going to wait. Should I go to the Philippines?
Yes, why not?
Well, so I have a friend of mine told me if I went to the Philippines that I could stay in one of her houses. But I was told that there are huge spiders in the Philippines.
Not really.
You're laughing like there are some big spiders in the Philippines.
I play with the spider, you know that.
Say again.
We play with the
You
spiders.
oh
They have the sticks and they
uh
run on the sticks.
nope. I would not be playing with the spiders. I would have a heart attack and a stroke. I am deathly afraid of spiders.
I'm only afraid of snakes and worms.
Snakes and worms. Well, I think that's the only reason why I haven't been to the Philippines yet, because I really only need the plane ticket. I have a place to stay if I go, but yeah, they told me a story about, you need to keep your shoes upside down because the big spiders.
Oh, that's not true.
Were they pulling my leg?
No.
So someone was teasing me, huh?
Yeah. Well, maybe in the poorest part of the Philippines, but you're not going there. You're not going there.
No. I don't want to go where the spiders are. But you know what? People told me that about Hawaii too. They said, they had these big old, I think like caterpillars or some other really weird things down there.
Oh, cockroaches.
Cockroaches, yeah, and they're in the jewelry store and they're everywhere, and it's like, okay, if that's what it's like, then I don't care. I don't want to go to Hawaii. But then I spent 3 weeks there, and I'm like, I didn't see any of this stuff.
No.
So they were pulling my chain.
I lived in Hawaii for like 10 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where are some other places?
I a decent job, so I asked for transfer back here in Bremerton.
Oh, you asked for a transfer? So where are some other places you lived at, Miss Anita?
I'm sorry?
Where are some other places that you've lived?
San Francisco. That's all.
Oh, San Francisco. Okay. But you've been everywhere to see Mr. Johnny Mathis. So you flew to Hong Kong to go and see him.
I flew to Sydney. I go everywhere.
To see him.
Not really. I've only seen him about like 8 times.
Only 8 times?
Yeah. But he's got a concert every month.
Really?
Every month for the last 70 years.
Johnny Mathis performs every month for the last 70 years? Wow.
Twice a month.
Twice a month. Okay. That is impressive. When does he never takes a break?
When he was younger, he would perform for 1 week every night,
Does he ever take a break?
He never did.
Wow. That's wow.
This is the only time that he's restless now because he cannot have a concert. He's bored.
Oh, I bet he's bored if that's what he's used to doing. I mean, again, that's pretty impressive for sure.
He just plays golf.
So what have you what kind of, do you have like personal contact with him?
Through his brother.
Through his brother, okay. And do you is there a group that you started that you belong to?
Yeah, it's Anitas Brigade. There's 3 of us. One is from Georgia and one is from Philadelphia. So we go together.
Oh, really? Okay, so that's pretty cool. And how did you guys meet? Did you meet at a concert?
They saw my blog.
Say that one more time.
They were impressed.
Oh, say that one more time.
Of course, in my Facebook.
Oh, on your Facebook. Okay. So that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah. I got friends all over the world because of Johnny Mathis.
You know what I like about your story too is, another one of those, in another example of a way to, find people that share your interest. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like a lot of folks can have some difficulty finding people, that have that, same commonality. And I hear that all the time. People will ask me, well, how do I, make friends in, that like what I like, and it's like, okay, well, you could do this or you could do that. And so your love of Johnny Mathis, you've got a Facebook, and then folks will kind of gravitate to that, and you're obviously not friends with every single person who is into Johnny Mathis, but some folks have kind of pulled, come out of that, and then you've got like 3 good friends from it, which is pretty cool.
Oh my God. Yes. Yes.
That's pretty cool. So now, do you guys talk?
Oh yeah, all the time. Facebook.
Oh, really? Okay. So it's pretty cool. So I take it then maybe you guys had plans to see Johnny Mathis in concert if things had been open?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, see, that's pretty cool. And then you already got your built-in travel buddies.
We have a uniform every time we go.
So now what is?
We have the same color of outfit. We wear yellow rose on our hair because he's got a song like yellow roses on her gown. So we use that. So in November we're going to be wearing brown and yellow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's awesome.
Anyway. He's getting old though. 85 years old. Next time we see him, he'll be 86 years old.
86. Wow. Now, do you know if he's going to stop performing here soon?
He doesn't. He's not stopping. As long as he's got his fans, he will keep singing.
I see. Okay. Well, I mean, again, that's truly impressive, and again, so are you. I would like to, kind of keep our conversation going. I know that you had some plans to do some other things, but would you be willing to come back on?
Of course.
All right. So what I'll do is, how about this? I'll buy the cookbook, and then once I get it here, then we can come back on and we can finish our conversation, because that'll give me time to work out whatever's going on with this Zoom thing.
Yes.
That's perfect?
Yes.
All right. Well, everyone, this is Miss Anita Schon. That was my interview today. This is the Conduit that you're listening to. I'm your host, Marwan Cameron. As I said, this is an interview I've been looking forward to, and I'm disappointed that the Zoom isn't working the way that it is, but I still wanted to make sure that we had a conversation with Miss Anita, because I think that she has so much to offer, and we haven't even really scratched the surface yet. So we're definitely going to have her back. I'm going to go ahead and buy the cookbook. If you want to purchase the cookbook, you can. It is at Amazon. It is called Flavors of the Philippines by Anita Schon. Also, her Gmail is in the chat, anitasshon@gmail.com. If you want to buy one of her 3 books on Johnny Mathis. She is a huge Johnny Mathis fan. Also, if you want to follow her blog, The Flavors of Anita's Kitchen, it's there for you to follow. And it's more than just her kitchen, but there's life and travel and all kinds of good stuff that are on there. So check out her blog. Again, it's a great way for you to find different things to get into. I know we're looking forward to coming out of social distancing, but if you're looking for something to either do alone, do with family and friends, or do with your kids, these are all really great things to do. Not difficult to do, but it's I think it's just really important. And someone told me yesterday, I don't know who that was, because I'm talking to so many people, so the conversations kind of blur. But they told me that they really liked the fact that I was doing the podcast, and they thought that it was a really good thing for Layla. Like, Layla would have this, all these podcasts of her dad later on, years from now into adulthood, and, after I'm gone, she'll have these things to look back on and share with her kids. So, I actually hadn't really considered it like that. But I actually agree with that sentiment. So, there's a lot of different ways that you can kind of leave your mark and, maybe say some of the things that you may not have the chance to say to loved ones, or, those lessons that may come out that Layla may listen to later on in life. So about friendship and about reaching out to people, about getting to know people, and just all those things there. I think there's so many different, benefits that aren't necessarily the things that kind of stand out, or the intentional reasons on why I started the podcast that can be done. So I encourage you to try to find those different things to do. But for now, we are going to go. We will be back tonight at 6:30. And then we'll be back tomorrow night also. Tomorrow is Reverend Michael Ellington from New Horizon Baptist Church. Definitely looking forward to that conversation. So join us then. And for now, have a good rest of your day. Conduit out.
Bye.
Bye-bye.